He thought first class would protect him, that it was a bubble made of leather seats, polished glassware, and subtle nods from people who looked and spoke just like him. He believed money could build a wall between himself and discomfort. But walls have a way of breaking at 30,000 feet, and on this flight, the crack would begin with a simple hoodie, a quiet smile, and a name the whole world knew, long before he did. The airport pulsed like a living city. Announcements stitched themselves into the air. Luggage wheels clicked like distant metronomes, and the scorched scent of coffee drifted through security lines that coiled like patient snakes. Gate 42 glowed on the overhead sign, an arrow pointing toward dozens of tiny stories converging in a glass-walled room facing a moonlit tarmac. David stood a little apart, angled as if the light belonged to him. Charcoal suit, pocket square, silver watch that caught the fluorescent bulbs and threw them back with practiced arrogance. He adjusted his tie the way some men polish a trophy, carefully, knowingly. The world, he believed, respected precision. It respected success. It respected the right shoes and the right seats and the right tone of voice that said, "I belong above the noise." He belonged in first class. That was not just a ticket, it was an identity. He had paid for comfort. He had paid for control. The gate agent called for boarding by groups, and first class began its quiet procession down the jet bridge. The line moved with soft murmurs and the flutter of boarding passes. David stepped forward with a small nod to no one in particular and a glance at everyone at once. He liked to be seen without looking like he needed to be. On board, the first-class cabin glowed like a small private lounge. Soft lighting washed over cream leather, gold accents winked from the bulkhead, and the air smelled faintly of citrus and new upholstery. The seats, thrones more than chairs, offered privacy and power. The ordinary world tucked several rows behind a drawn curtain. David's boarding pass promised 2A. He felt it like a coronation. He reached the row and stopped. In 2B, the window seat beside his, a tall black man in a simple slate gray hoodie sat angled slightly toward the aisle, his cap pulled low. He had the relaxed posture of someone who didn't need a throne to be comfortable. A glass of water rested on the console, catching light. He looked up to thank the flight attendant for a napkin, and for a moment, just a moment, David's eyes met a smile that was warm without invitation. Something tightened in David's chest, something he never named. He called it standards when it suited him. He called it preferring quiet if pressed. He called it nothing at all most days, because one can live a long time without naming the weights one carries. He cleared his throat, the universal prelude to superiority. "Excuse me,"